Hi, I'm Danny Boom and welcome to a special episode of Recipe Rehab sponsored by Everyday Health.
On this episode, our queen of the kitchen, Chef Mireia, is in the hot seat. She's answering questions from you, our viewers.
Why are there different measuring cups for wet and dry ingredients?
What's the proper way to chop an onion? How do you core an apple?
She's sharing her secret cooking tips and tricks.
I've got a couple of cute ideas to share. We use this to make pasta ribbons out of vegetables. Well, it's definitely going to keep the vampires away, right?
Showing us how to make a healthy 10-minute meal.
I'm going to show you how to make a really healthy grilled cheese.
And she'll even unveil what she picks up at the grocery store.
Albacore tuna.
Oh, tuna.
Something that you can always keep stock that doesn't go bad.
All coming up now on Recipe Rehab.
No way.
Love that.
Let's welcome the master of the kitchen, Chef Mireia. So, Chef Mireia, we've got a ton of questions for you.
Great.
So we're going to jump straight in.
Okay.
The first question comes from River.
I recently started helping my mom chop onions in the kitchen. What's the proper way to chop an onion?
So what's the proper and safest way to cut an onion?
Well, back in the day, I used to wear my sunglasses when I would chop onions so I wouldn't tear, but I'll leave the glasses off today.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the onion, and really important, when you're chopping an onion, you've got your sharp knife, and you've got this onion that's moving around to tuck your fingertips in so you don't slice them. So I'm gonna start by just chopping it down the middle, and then I'm gonna make cuts across the top, just like this.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take the knife and I'm gonna go back the other way. So I'm basically making a crisscross here. And then I can take my onion and cut it this way down. And you've got the perfect dice, just like that.
Well, that's a very handy hint. Our next question comes from Sheridan.
I love baking muffins with my mom, but I always look in the oven and I wonder what makes the muffins rise.
How do our muffins rise?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, there are leavening agents. Baking powder and baking soda are usually what are used in baking to make baked goods rise.
So how do we know the difference?
Baking powder and baking soda are activated by different things. With a baking powder, it's activated by just hot water. Baking soda with vinegar. And I can show you how that works
Let's
if
go
you'd
for
like
it.
to see.
It's science time on Recipe Rehab.
It is. I love science in the kitchen. So I've got some baking powder here. I'll show you what happens. It starts to bubble,
Okay.
just like that. So you know that's gonna work for you in your baked goods. If it doesn't bubble, then it's probably time to replace that baking powder.
Okay.
Now with the baking soda, this is activated by acid, and I've got some apple cider vinegar. Show you how that works. And the same thing. You know that those are good, and those will make your muffins rise.
Okay. Now to our next question from Caroline.
I usually help my mom set the table, and I always get confused with where the fork goes and where the knife goes. So, do you have any tips for me?
That we do, Caroline, that we do. We're here to help. Okay, so how do we lay the table?
That's a great question, and I love that she's asking that because it's really fantastic to get kids into the kitchen, and this is a great way for them to help out at dinner time. So I'm gonna start with a placemat here. I've got my 2 plates here. Maybe you'd have one for your entree and one for your salad. It starts on the left and basically works in. So I'm gonna start with my salad fork and then my large fork.
Right?
And then, this is a fun trick. So the knife protects the spoon from the forks and it faces in. So that's a good way to remember
Okay.
that goes on the other side. So the teeth face in and then the spoon goes down. And then you can put your napkin in the middle, or you can also do this. I've got kind of a fun trick just to make it a little fancy.
Alrighty.
I've got my napkin here and I'm gonna take my silverware and I'm just gonna bundle them up inside. So I'm gonna tuck it over and just roll it up, just like that. And then I'll take my ribbon, just gonna cut off a piece. And this is what I have my 7-year-old do, by the way. You know, sometimes
well, you
I
have
don't.
fancy dinners.
Well, it makes it feel special, you know, add a little fun to it. So just like that. And the glass always goes on the right. And voila, you've got a cute little place setting.
That's beautiful. Okay, so when we come back, Chef Mireia is going to be showing us how to whip up a quick, healthy, delicious 10-minute meal. But first, it's time for you to check out a Recipe Rehab pop quiz question. Drinking large amounts of soda can lead to cavities and other teeth problems because soda has a lot of what ingredient? Is it A, salt, B, sugar, C, water, or D, fat? The answer when we return to Recipe Rehab. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Recipe Rehab. Before the break, we asked you, drinking large amounts of soda can lead to cavities and other teeth problems because soda has a lot of what ingredient? Is it A, salt, B, sugar, C, water, or D, fat? If you said B, you were correct. Drinking soda exposes your teeth to lots and lots of sugar, which then can lead to cavities and other painful teeth problems if you drink too much. Now let's get back to the kitchen. Welcome back to a special episode of Recipe Rehab. We are here with Chef Mireya. She's one of our favorites and a Recipe Rehab veteran. But today she's not competing, she's answering all your questions and sharing her top secret cooking knowledge. Now, Chef Mireya, are you ready for another question?
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty. So let's have a look here and see what Abby's got to ask us.
Why are there different measuring cups for wet and dry ingredients?
So how do we know the difference between wet and dry measuring cups?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I've got the two here side by side. You've got this one for dry. It's got my measurements on the side, but it's got a flat top. So I can dip it right into my flour here and level it off. And when it comes to baking and you need precise measurements, that makes it really easy to do. Now imagine if I were to pour a liquid in here, it would slosh around and be kind of hard to handle. Now with the liquid measuring cup, I've got my measurements here too. I've got my cups on one side and my ounces on the other, but this has got a spout to make it really easy to handle and incorporate into your recipes. Just like that. And if I'm moving around, it's got this great design here so that I don't mess the kitchen up.
All right. Our next question comes from Cassidy.
I take my lunch to school every day, and I'm getting tired of the same stuff. Can you give us some healthy ideas for my mom to put in our lunch?
You're a mom, you pack a lunchbox every day.
This is my dilemma every day, coming up with fun, exciting things and always making them fresh and healthy. So I've got a couple of cute ideas to share. One is, who doesn't like food on a stick? So I'm gonna make a little veggie skewer. Really easy. I've got some Persian cucumbers. I'm gonna thread them onto my skewer here, and you can alternate this with some fresh mozzarella. Look at how cute these are.
Yeah.
And then some mini tomatoes. I've got almost like a little caprese on a stick. Obviously, I'm watching my fingers as I'm threading this so that I don't poke myself, but when you're done, you take a pair of scissors and just snip that off so your kids don't poke themselves either.
That's a really cool thing. I don't think anybody would be trading that at lunchtime.
And then I've got a little dressing on the side so they can dip. Isn't that cute?
Right.
So you put those into your lunchbox and they love those. Okay. And it's easier than eating a salad. Sandwiches are great because they're simple to make, but you know, we gotta make it a little bit more fun. So, little heart-shaped cookie cutter. You just take that in and press it right into your bread. Cookie cutters are not just for sweets.
We can make a fun, fancy lunch with that.
Yeah, and I've also got, look at how cute this is, a cute little parfait. I've got my mason jar here, and I've layered in low-fat granola with fresh strawberries and some Greek yogurt on top, and just serve it up with a spoon. So you've got some really fun ways here to class up the lunch. I think it's really cute to also just put in a little love note and let them know that you're thinking about them, because preparing food like this for your kids too is showing that you love them.
Absolutely. Well, some great tips there, and especially from a mom. Our next question involves an entire recipe for people who are on the go. This one comes from Marcus.
I love grilled cheese, but my dad always says there's too much butter and cheese on it. Is there any other healthier ways to eat my grilled cheese?
So, this brings me to my favorite part of this whole show.
The 10-minute cooking challenge.
We're gonna give you 10 minutes to make a healthy meal. So we're gonna put 10 minutes on the clock, all right? And I'm gonna count you down from 3, a 2, a 1, and away you go.
I'm gonna show you how to make a super simple, really healthy grilled cheese. And I'm gonna start with a pesto.
Right
and
on.
I make my pesto with spinach to add more nutrient value in there. And I'm gonna clean it with the Eat Cleaner product because I wanna get all of the stuff that shouldn't be on there off. We don't want that in our food. Then I'm gonna add in some vegetable stock.
Into pesto?
So that I don't need as much oil.
Okay.
Let me process that. And then I'm gonna add in sun-dried tomatoes.
Alrighty.
Some pine nuts, garlic clove in here. I've just slice that up a little bit. And then I've got some shredded Parmesan here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna get my pan going here. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of olive oil. And then I'm gonna take my pesto, spread that on my bread. And it's gonna give it a lot of flavor, so you don't need to add as much cheese on.
So you're using mozzarella on a grilled cheese?
Yep, I've got my low-fat mozzarella, and I'm just gonna
So really,
get
all
that
the
going.
flavor comes from your pesto.
It does.
Right.
Flavor and the vegetables.
And are you using whole wheat bread here as well?
I am.
Chef Mireia has made us a healthy grilled cheese sandwich in our 10-minute challenge.
Yep, we're done. It's nice and toasty. So Danny, you've got the perfect healthy meal in less than 10 minutes.
Awesome. Okay. When we come back, we're going to explore more of Chef Mireia's secrets. And she's going to show us some of her favorite gadgets and lots more. So don't you go away. See you soon. Welcome back to this special episode of Recipe Rehab. Chef Mireia is with us and she's letting us in on all her secret cooking tips and tricks. We're having a great time and you guys are asking the questions, so let's get another one right now. Here comes one from Kenya.
So I love chips and salsa. But rumor has it chips are unhealthy. How do we make my favorite snack a little bit more healthy?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, chips and salsa are a staple, you know?
And we can't sacrifice flavor when it comes to chips, right?
No, but you can make a healthy chip.
Okay.
I love pita chips. These are actually whole grain, so you've got the fiber in them, which makes you fuller faster, which is good. And then I love to serve them with hummus, which is also high protein, made with garbanzo beans. And then salsa is actually really good for you. There's nothing wrong with salsa. Got tomatoes, onions, garlic, different spices, some peppers in there. And then if you serve that with some tomato slices, you pretty much got the perfect balance of protein, vegetable, and carbohydrate.
There you go, Kenya. Ditch the normal fatty chips and go for the baked pita chips. Okay, our next question comes from Edda.
I love gardening. Are there any herbs I can plant in a pot in my house so I can use them for cooking?
Awesome question.
Love that.
Right on.
Love fresh herbs. So I've got some great herbs that she can plant indoors. I've got some thyme, some fresh mint, and rosemary. And they're so fragrant and just smell that. I mean, they add so much to your dishes without any fat. You can keep these by your windowsill, and the more you use it, the more you trim it down, the more full it will grow.
Okay, there you go. So there you go, Edda. If you want some fresh herbs in your house, go for the woodier herbs, keep them on the windowsill and use them as many times as you can so the herbs just keep on growing. Our next question comes from Sierra.
I really want to become a chef when I grow up. Do you have any tips for me?
Any tips?
Yeah, I learned how to cook with my grandparents. Actually, my grandfather was a huge influence. I think it's really great when kids can get into the kitchen, start playing, having fun, watching, tasting, being a part of the action, and then go for it. Follow your dream.
And when you were Sierra's age, did you have like a part-time job in a cafe or a diner or anything?
I did. I worked in restaurants. I worked with a caterer. I watched Julia Child all the time. I mean, she was like my idol.
So I guess in summary, watch the shows, read the books, get a job, stay in school. Okay, our next question comes from True.
How do you core an apple?
Coring an apple is really easy. You're just gonna take your apple, slice it down the center, just like that. And then one of my favorite kitchen gadgets is a melon baller. So I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna scoop out the seeds, just like that. How cute, easy. And you've got that left. And then I'm just gonna take my knife, cut the ends off, like this. And then I can go to town with slicing.
So the melon baller is one of your favorite kitchen gadgets. Do you have any others?
I do. I happen to have them right here. In
How
fact,
convenient.
I have a steamer basket.
Wow.
And this is great because this will work with pretty much any size pot.
Okay.
And steamed vegetables are fantastic because you don't need any oil and it keeps them still nice and crispy so they have a bite. Okay. So I love that. And then a peeler. Now I don't use this to just peel my vegetables. I make ribbons out of them. Oh. So instead of pasta, for example, we use this with zucchini, carrots to make pasta ribbons out of vegetables. Love that. Absolutely. You can also use it for peeling chocolate.
Anything needs a peel or a curl, the vegetable peeler is there for you to use in the kitchen.
And it's also really a great thing to get your kids involved in the kitchen because it's safe. They won't cut themselves with it. and you can get them crafty.
Put your children to work with a vegetable peeler this weekend. Okay, guys, when we return, Chef Maria will show us what go-to items she puts in her basket when she goes to the market. Don't you go away. Welcome back to a special edition of Recipe Rehab. We're here in the kitchen with Chef Maria.
We've put her in the hot seat and she's been answering lots of different cooking questions.
But before we get to my other favorite segment of the show, Chef, what's in your basket? We have a couple of more questions from our favorite fans. So, Chef, would you like to see another question?
Absolutely.
Well, here's one from Emmy.
I don't like the way garlic makes my hands smell. Do you have any tips to get rid of that smell?
So, Chef Maria, how do we get the stinky garlic smell off our fingers?
It's a great question. Well, it's definitely going to keep the vampires away, right?
Absolutely.
Well, garlic can be neutralized with two things. The acid in lemons, so you can basically take a lemon and rub it on your hands. Simple as that. Or a lesser known trick, stainless steel. Just by rubbing stainless steel on your hands, that helps to neutralize the garlic smell as well.
No way.
I bet you didn't know that, did you?
Not at all. I hope that sorts your problem out, Emmy. Okay, our next question is from Angelina.
When I come home from school, I am starving. What's a good healthy snack to eat?
So Angelina wants to know what's a good healthy snack to come home to.
Okay, that's a great question, because kids are always hungry when they come home.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna make my own little party mix here. I've got some whole grain pretzels and some cheese crackers. These are also whole grain. You hear me saying whole grain all the time. It's important that kids get that fiber in their diets. And then peanuts. If you don't have a nut allergy, this is a great source of protein. I'm gonna throw some of those in, and then finally, a little bit of sweet. I've got some dried apple rings. You wanna try one of those? They're really tasty.
Actually, they look like marshmallow rings.
And kids can put them up to their eyes too and play with them. So we've got a healthy little snack for the kids when they come home.
Okay, there you go, a healthy after-school snack, Chef Maria. So have you got time for one more question?
I do, I can do it.
Awesome. This next one comes from Natassia.
Whenever I go to the grocery store, I never know what to buy. What do you think I should buy and always keep in my pantry?
Here's one of my favorite segments of the show.
Chef, what's in your basket?
Okay, in my basket, must-have items that I always have stocked. I've got brown rice pasta. This is really tasty, high in fiber, and doesn't make you feel overly full. I've also got zucchini. Now, I told you about the peeler and making zucchini ribbons. Must have, it's great. I've also got avocado. This is a great source of good fat and adds so much life to a salad. I've also got albacore tuna. Quick sandwich, good protein, again, and inexpensive, something that you can always keep stocked that doesn't go bad. I've also got egg whites. We're kicking the cholesterol out and keeping the egg in.
A really good healthy choice.
Love these as a healthy choice for an omelet. I also use it as a binder for my baked goods.
Oh, okay.
And I've got low-fat cottage cheese. This is a really healthy addition to enchiladas, for example, or fillings that would normally take a full-fat cheese. Love that. I've also got a butter alternative. Now this, again, doesn't have any cholesterol, but it still has the full flavor of butter. So it's a really healthy option if you're trying to cut down on your cholesterol. And then Greek yogurt. Non-fat Greek yogurt is maybe one of the most amazing things that anybody can have in their kitchen. You can use it for salad dressing, you can use it for toppings for your desserts, you can put some granola, make your parfaits out of that. It's a must-have. And then, do you know what this is, Danny?
This is one of my favorite vegetables. It's fennel.
Love the fennel. And the reason I love it so much is it's got so much flavor, texture, and crunch. It's a really fun addition to a salad, but it's also great when you're making different entrees to braise it. So, love the fennel, super healthy, super delicious, and it smells great. And it looks pretty, look at that. You could almost put it in a pot and use it as a centerpiece.
You really could. Chef Maria, that has been great. And unfortunately, we're out of time.
If you're looking for even more cooking tips and healthy recipes, then head on over to recipirehab.com/TV show.
Thanks to Chef Maria, and an even bigger thanks to you, our loyal viewers, for all your great questions. We hope you picked up some tips and tricks that will make all your meals more tasty, easy, and most importantly, healthier. We'll see you next time on Recipe Rehab. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations for Recipe Rehab are provided by